to monitor a person's health condition or to check in say in case of certain um, health issues, a person's heartbeat is checked. The instrument that monitors or that checks is known as electrocardiograph, and this electrocardiograph plots the cardioelectrogram, that is what is known as ECG. Now ECG is a graphical representation of the electrical conductivity of a heart during the cardiac cycle. So it will be checking. This is the standard ECG we have taken over here of a normal healthy person, and it is showing the electrical conductivity of a heart during a cardiac cycle. Now, when an ECG is taken, a patient is connected to a machine, and these machines have the leads, that is the electrical leads. Out of the three leads, one, two each are connected. One is connected to each of the wrist, and the second lead is connected to the left ankle. Now, a question can arise in your mind why it is connected in this way. Now, in the lead 2, the right arm actually acts as a negative pole and the left foot acts as a positive pole. When we have studied the cardiac cycle, it actually represents this way. When we are connecting, this represents the general flow of electric current through the heart, because anatomically we have seen that SAN is approximately towards the right arm, because it is situated towards the right ventricle, right auricle, and the apex of the left ventricle is towards the left foot. So SAN is towards the right side, therefore the right wrist, and it is the action potential then travels from SAN to AVN, that is towards the ventricles, and the ventricles are towards the left hand side slightly. So that is left foot we have taken, which acts as a positive pole. And as a result of which the PQRS and T waves are studied best with lead 2. Now, after connecting the leads to the patient, a ECG is obtained. Now, there are other leads which are attached to the chest region and other regions, but mainly we get the best from the lead 2. Now, let us study. This is the electrocardiogram of a normal healthy person, showing you the P wave, QRS complex and the T wave. So we have 3 waves, and that at the end you can see at where the T wave ends, there is a straight mark, that is the start of the next wave or the next cardiac cycle. So one cardiac cycle will comprise of the P wave, QRS complex and the T wave. The end of the T wave marks the end of the systole. Now let us study how it is corresponding, or how each wave is corresponding to what it is meaning. Now the P wave, let us study the P wave first. The P wave, it shows the electrical excitation of atria due to the action potential generated by the SAN. So over here you can see the atria are, there is a depolarization. Why depolarization is there? Because the action, there is the action potential which is being caused by the SAN. This causes, or this leads to the contraction of the atria. So over here you can see due to the depolarization of atria, the contraction of atria takes place. Now this further leads to the contraction or the depolarization of ventricles. So from here it passes to the ventricles and leads to the ventricular contraction. And this QRS is actually comprising of three waves. That is Q, which is the beginning of the ventricular systole. R marks the maximum ventricular systole, that is with the maximum contraction of the ventricles, and S marks the lowering of the ventricular systole. After this, that is what is we call it as depolarization of ventricles. So first the depolarization of atria, followed by the depolarization of the ventricles, and finally we have the T wave, that is repolarization of ventricles. That means after complete contraction, the ventricles are now coming to the normal state or the relaxed state. So this is the T wave, which marks the repolarization or the normalization of the ventricles. The end of the T wave marks the end of the systole. Now, but this is the normal heartbeat, and you can see the next wave followed by the third wave. Continuously it is happening. And any change in this wave pattern gives an indication of the problem of the heart. Now it can lead to various kind of conclusions, like any deviation from this shape indicate a possible abnormality or a disease. So for example, it can tell us if there is any change in the heartbeat structure or this pattern. It can indicate an enlargement of the heart, myocardial infarction, and abnormalities of the conducting pathways. Because you see over here, we are talking of atriums, the ventricles, the pathways. So any pathway is having a problem, then it is indicated by the ECG. It's a very preliminary test. Later on, many tests are conducted to confirm the cause. For example, if you can, as told, this P wave indicates the contraction or the depolarization of atria. Now, if it is large, suppose if the P wave goes large, this shows the enlargement of atria. The reason being, the atria is taking a lot of time for the blood to be passed on, and to depolarize the ventricle is taking place too long. So the larger the P wave, it indicates the enlargement of the atria. Now if there is enlargement in the Q wave, that means if the Q wave, which is going down, if it is deep down, then it indicates myocardial infarction. In the third case, that is the R, suppose if the R is showing any abnormality, that is enlarged, if the R, normal R range, if it goes beyond that, then it shows an enlargement in the case of for the ventricle. So we can come to various conclusions after studying the ECG of a person, and it is used for coming to conclusion related to the if there is any heart related diseases. Also, the analysis of an ECG involves measuring time between the two waves, that is which are known as intervals or segments. So we can come to various kinds of conclusion after studying the ECG of a person.